Shanti. This is the Sakar Murli of 18 of December 2023. Essence. Sweet children, only the meeting of souls with the Supreme Soul is a true confluence, a kumbh. It is through this meeting that you become pure and people then celebrate with their fairs as a memorial of this. Question. In which aspect do you children need to have a lot of wisdom? Answer. You need a lot of wisdom to understand and explain the very sensitive aspects of this knowledge. You have to prove the path of knowledge and the path of devotion tactfully. Explain just like a mouse blows before it bites. Therefore, create methods for doing service. Hold exhibitions at the Kumbh Mela and bring benefit to many souls. Show them the way to become pure from impure. Song. Take us away from this world of sin to a world of rest and comfort. Om Shanti. The Father sits here and explains to you children, the iron-aged, impure and corrupt world is called a world of sin. Whereas the golden-aged, pure and elevated world is called a world of charity. Only the Supreme Soul comes and makes you into pure and charitable souls and creates the world of charity. It is because people are not pure that they themselves call out to the Purifier Father. If they believe the Purifier to be the Ganges or the Triveni, confluence of three rivers, why do they call out, O Purifier, come? The Ganges and the Triveni exist anyway, and yet people continue to call out even while those rivers exist. Their intellects still go towards the Supreme Soul. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, who is the ocean of knowledge, has to come here. He is not just called a soul, but the pure living being. There are no pure living beings here. The Purifier Father comes when the golden-aged pure world has to be established and the iron-aged world destroyed. He would definitely come at the confluence age. The confluence is also called the Kumbha. There is the confluence of the Triveni and they have given it the name Kumbha. They say three rivers meet. In fact, there are two rivers. They say that the third river is incognito. So would you become pure from impure in that Kumbh Mela? The Purifier definitely has to come. He is the ocean of knowledge. It is only the task of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, and not a human being, to make the impure world pure and change the iron age into the golden age. All of that is blind faith. Blind ones need a stick. You have now become sticks, number-wise, according to the efforts you make. There are different types of sticks. Some sticks cost 100 rupees and others cost just 2 rupees. Here too all are number-wise. Some are very serviceable. When you are ill, you have to call a surgeon. This is an impure world and you are becoming pure. It is said, souls remain separated from the Supreme Soul for a long time. Then, when the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul comes among all souls, that is called the confluence of the Kumbha. People make a lot of donations at the Kumbh Mela. That is an income for sages, holy men, and the government. Here, you have to donate everything, including your bodies, minds, and wealth, to the Purifier Father. He then makes you into the future masters of heaven. Those people take the name of the Triveni and make donations to sages and holy men. In fact, the confluence is where all the rivers come and merge with the ocean. There is no ocean there, just the rivers come together. Only the meeting of you rivers and the ocean is called the true Mela, but this is also fixed in the drama. In that Mela, the government earns a lot of money from the trains, cars, land, etc. So this Mela is for earning an income. You children can judge these things because you are following God's directions. Therefore, you should find the right meaning of Kumbh Mela. Baba gives you an essay to write. Sensible children should take this up. The number one sensible one is Mama, and then second is Sanjay, who had to make leaflets for distribution. This river Triveni is not the purifier. Only the bestower of salvation for all, Shiv Baba, is the purifier. The Triveni cannot be called the bestower of salvation. Those rivers exist at all time. There is no question of them coming. People sing, "O purifier, come and make us pure." Therefore, you should make leaflets. Brothers and sisters is the ocean of knowledge, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the purifier, or is it those rivers? The rivers exist all the time. You call out to the Supreme Soul for him to come here. In fact, only the one Supreme Soul is the purifier souls, and the Supreme Soul remains separated for a long time. That Satguru comes and grants you salvation and takes you back home. In fact, you should bathe in the knowledge of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, carries out establishment of the pure world. You don't know him. When Bharat was elevated, soul-conscious deities used to reside there. That used to be called Sevalaya. You children should now go to the Kumbh Mela and hold exhibitions and explain to people there. You have to explain the one Father is the purifier. And he says, only when you are to be made pure from impure do I come. So you have to make a promise. Raksha Bandhan is connected with God, not with sages or holy men. A promise is made to the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, not to the river Triveni. O Baba, through your Srimad, I promise to become pure. The Father says, I will make you into the masters of the pure world. These are Baba's signals. Very clever, serviceable ones are needed for this. Many other pictures also have to be made. You need to get a good marquee for this. Many of your enemies will emerge. Sometimes they do not take long to cause a fire. If someone wants a fight, he begins to insult you. You have to become egoless and stay in silence. Brahma Kumaris have become famous. You definitely have to distribute leaflets, etc. People give special importance to the Kumbh Mela. In fact, that refers to the importance of the present time. This too is a game in the drama. Anyone can be benefited there too, but it does require effort. It requires effort to change thorns into flowers. You need courage to hold an exhibition at the Kumbh Mela. You need contacts so that there are no obstacles. You have to prove who the purifier is. People remember heaven, the pure world. When someone dies, people say, so and so has become a resident of heaven. There is plenty of rich food there, so why do they then call them back from there and feed them here? At the Srinath temple, you can see how they cook so many varieties of food. In fact, Srinath Puri and Jagannath Puri are the same thing. However, in Srinath Dware, you can see how they prepare many nourishing varieties of food, whereas at Jagannath they only offer bhog of plain cooked rice. They don't even use butter, etc. This difference portrays how you have such nourishing foods when you are pure and when you have plain rice when you are impure. The significance of this is very good. The father sits here and explains this. At Srinath Dware, they offer so much bhog and then Brahmin priests sit there and sell that bhog to the worshippers as the basis of their income. They receive everything for nothing and then they earn from that. So those things are of such blind faith that belongs to the path of devotion. The path of knowledge is the path of salvation. Salvation cannot be received by bathing in the Ganges. You have to explain very tactfully. Just as a mouse blows before it bites, you need to have great wisdom to understand and explain these things. These are such sensitive matters. People say, O Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, you alone know your ways and means. They don't understand the meaning of that. Only you can grant us the salvation we receive by following your Srimad. No one else can grant us salvation. Only the one is the bestower of salvation for all. You definitely have to use the words for all. A great deal is explained, but there are very few who understand. Many subjects continue to be created. People make a lot of donations and perform charity in the name of God. So they receive the fruit of that for one birth. Here you receive fruit for 21 births. By donating in the name of God, they receive strength. They don't know God and so there is no strength left. There are many gurus, etc. For Hindus, if you look at the Christians, they only have one. They have so much regard for that one. It is said, religion is might. You have now understood religion and so you receive so much strength. Baba says, give everyone this mantra that disciplines the mind. The Father says to you, children, remember the place you came from and your final thoughts will lead you to your destination. Only by remembering the Father can you become pure. Your sins will be absolved. You have to remember the Father and the inheritance. For by doing so, the whole cycle enters your intellects. While living at home with your families, you have to make effort to remove your intellects from all your bodily relations and connect them to the Father so that at the end you only remember Him. If you remember anyone else, there will have to be punishment and your status will be reduced. In fact, it is the confluence of the cycles when souls meet the Supreme Soul, which is called the Kumbha. God alone comes and teaches you Raj Yoga. He is beyond rebirth, but those children don't understand this. They don't follow Srimad and so how would their boats go across? For one's boat to go across means to attain a royal status. It is only by following Srimad that you receive a kingdom. If you don't follow Srimad, you will eventually be finished. Only the brides whose lamps are ignited will go back with the bridegroom. Those whose lamps are extinguished will not go with him. Only the specially beloved children will go back with him. All the rest will follow behind number wise. However, everyone will become pure. Not all souls have the same strength. Each soul's part is his own. No two souls can receive the same status. At the end, everyone's part will be very clear. The tree is so large. There are so many human beings. Only the main ones, the big branches and sub-branches will be visible. The main thing is the foundation. All the rest come later. They have less strength. Not everyone can go to heaven. Bharat itself was heaven. It isn't that the land of Japan will become heaven instead of Bharat. That is not possible. Acha, to Bapdadas, that is to the mother and fathers, sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, who are the stars of knowledge, love, remembrance and good morning. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Night class, 24 of April 1968. It has been explained to you children that founders of other religions cannot benefit everyone. When they come down, they bring everyone else down behind them. There is praise of only the one who liberates you and then guides you. He only comes in Bharat. Bharat is the highest land of all. You have to praise Bharat a lot. Only the Father comes and grants salvation to all, and only then is there peace. There used to be peace in the world at the beginning of the world. There was one religion in heaven. Now there are innumerable religions. The Father alone comes and establishes peace. He does it as he did in the previous cycle. You children have received this knowledge, and so your journey continues. No one else journeys. Only you understand this. Because of body consciousness, they only worship bodies. Souls will definitely take rebirth here. You now understand that there is only the one who is pure. The Father alone gives you this incognito knowledge through which there is salvation for all. However, there isn't anyone like Hanuman or Ganesh, etc. All of them are called worshippers. Acha, the spiritual father and dada give love, remembrance and good night to the spiritual children. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for dharana. Number 1. In order to be saved from punishment, remove your intellect's yoga from all bodily relations and connect it to the one Father. At the end, no one apart from the Father should be remembered. Second, become egoless. Stay in silence and make the effort of changing thorns into flowers. Become a stick for the blind by following Srimad. Become pure and make others pure. Blessing, may you be a holy swan and increase your account of accumulation with powerful thoughts. Just as a swan separates stones from jewels, in the same way you are the holy swans who are able to discern between what is wasteful and what is powerful. A swan never picks up stones. but just separates them and leaves them on one side, never taking them. In the same way, you holy swans put wastefulness aside and imbibe powerful thoughts. You heard, spoke, and performed wastefulness for a long time, and you simply lost everything as a result. However, now, instead of being those who experience loss, become those who increase their accounts of accumulation. Slogan: if you tie a bracelet of the godly codes of conduct on yourself, all your bondages will end. Slogan: if you tie a bracelet of the godly codes of conduct on yourself, all your bondage will end. Om Shanti.